Study plans differ between students. The difference is due to the pace at which each one is able to study, in addition to the student's experience, time, and dedication. On average, journeys take between 2 and 4 months. However, we have seen people reach the cap of a full year and even more. And on the other hand, we have coached students who finalized their journeys within 5 weeks. We suggest minimizing this study time to a maximum of 3 months. This way, the student will learn the necessary to pass the exam and will not clutter his or her mind with non-needed additional information that can be acquired after passing the exam and while working as a certified practitioner. Finalizing the journey within 3 months requires an average of 2 hours daily. People can shorten this period even more by doing longer sessions on weekends and holidays. We suggest sticking to only one learning source when it comes to coursework. The instructor is only here to guide you through your journey and explain the ambiguous concepts that you find in the related standards and references. For example, we refuse a lot of students who already took the course with other instructors because we find that there is no need for the student to waste additional money. Instead, we encourage our students to take our hourly Q&A sessions to realign their understanding and assess their readiness. After those, and if we found that they need a course with an instructor, we will tender a quotation for them. The study plan that we are going to check now does not include the time to clear the application process. It only covers the exam preparation phase. In addition, it includes the average course time if taken with us, as we can't estimate time for other coaching sources. The first step is reading the standard. This step occurs before starting the course with an instructor. This first reading is essential as it will introduce you to the terms and concepts that the instructor will be using in his or her course. This reading is also beneficial because it puts you on the right track for understanding the terminologies and chapters flow. After finishing the first reading, you can start with the Instructor-Led Courses. You can contact us to check our course offerings for PfMP or PgMP. The average time needed for finalizing the course is around a month with full understanding. If you decide to go with instructor in group classes, you will finish the course within an average of 2 months. In parallel to the coursework, you should be rereading the corresponding standard. Your second reading would be more beneficial than the first one as you will be tackling the chapters from a detailed perspective and you will be noting down all the terms that you need the instructor to further shed the light on. In addition, you should be reading the ECO at this stage as it will help you limit the scope of the exam. Because as you know, the exam is based on the examination content outline. For each chapter, try to do the chapter-wise quizzes given by the instructor or the ones you purchase or get your hand on working in solo. Whether you go with instructor-led classes or solo, except for PMP, where you'd need the 35 contact hours or PDUs, and after finishing your preparations of coursework, you will need to read the standard for the third time. In case of PfMP and PgMP, this is mandatory. However, for PMP, it is not. In addition, you will have to target the ECO in details. With 3 readings of the standard and 2 readings of the ECO, you are now ready to tackle the questions bank. Here, you should practice as much as you can while understanding the questions, answers, and rationales and not using the memorization technique as it will not help you. We work in the following way. We first give you a market questions bank that will help you with boarding the questions bank strain and get used to time limitation for each question. Of course, you will have already done a lot of chapter-wise questions. You will then be given access to 3 important questions banks in the market where you will learn to decompose the questions in addition to training your mind to quickly understand the scenarios and knowing which words to stress on. These questions banks will be taken with a little stress on time limitations as its purpose is to understand the standard and ECO. And this is just for the first attempt. Here, you can read the standard for an additional time, including an ECO reading if you find this necessary. You will then solve the first test in our questions bank, while stressing on the time limitation for each test. Here, you need to revise the important questions from the QBs that you have already done, in addition to your notes and study guides. And then, you will need to tackle the second test in our questions bank. At this stage, you should be ready. You will need to solve the questions banks once more in the same first order to ensure your readiness for the exam. Here you will already have enough time between your first attempt and the second one to clear the short-term memory. You are now ready for your big day. Brace yourself and aim for glory. Now that we have seen the different tasks, let us spread them out on a study plan and implement our timeline. Standard first reading. PfMP and PgMP standards require on average 5 days of 2 hours each. PMBOK, on the other hand, is denser and requires an average of 10 days of 2 hours each. This of course varies based on your detailing of your notes and your experience in the field in order to assimilate the concepts. If you choose to go solo, we cannot give you an average time as we normally assess our students before we design a study plan for them. However, if you choose to go with instructor-led courses, for group classes, on average it is 2 months or 15 to 20 sessions of 1.5 hours each, one-on-one classes, 1 month of 8 to 12 sessions of 1.5 hours each. We offer one-on-one classes, and we offer at PACE classes, e-learning courses. Each session is accompanied with Google form quizzes and chapter-wise quizzes from multiple references. So you would need to dedicate time for this as well. But overall, 2 hours per day with a 1 rest day per week is more than enough. Second reading of the standard and first reading of ECO should also take you another 10 to 12 hours for PfMP and PgMP and 20 to 25 hours for PMP. As for solving questions banks, it should take you up to 1 month with 2 to 3 hours daily. Don't take more than this. Hereunder, we will plot the timeline taken by us. Market questions bank should take you 1 day of around 3 hours for questions, followed by 4 hours of rationale understanding. Important questions banks should take you up to 2 weeks of 2 to 3 hours each day, each one including 2 full tests and rationales understanding. The first test in our questions bank should take you 4 hours and another 4 to 6 hours to reread the answers and understand their rationales. This is key. Rationales are key to your success. Here you will need to reread the standard and ECO and understand the important terms you missed in the exam or which you found difficult to answer. This is based on your need and detailing of the standard. The second test in our questions bank should take you 4 hours and another 4 to 6 hours to reread the answers and understand their rationales. In addition, you need time to revise the important terms and the notes that you took from the course and from the tests you have taken. This should take you between 5 to 10 hours. You will then need to do a second run on the QBs to assess your readiness. The journey may seem daunting and overwhelming. However, with the right material, and if you choose so, the right instructor, and the appropriate dedication from your side, you will be ready in no time and your journey will be fruitful. This marks the end of this course. We hope that you enjoyed it and that we were able to put you on the right track.